BenQ EW series monitors has always been known for its eye care features, and
today here we have the EW277HDR. So we have quite a lot of points to talk about. Firstly, we'll go through the exterior first. As you can see here, this is a 27-inch monitor, 1080p VA panel LED backlit. Has quite a lot of features actually. You can see here it has thin bezels, and you actually have a light sensor down here. We'll talk more about that later. And the base right here, it looks somewhat familiar if you are into monitors. According to this guy,
very familiar.
Yes, it doesn't have the phone dock like last time.
Yes, last time they used to have a phone dock, especially one of our reviews on the EW2440L last time.
We'll link it down below.
It actually has a phone dock for iPhone last time. So I find that feature is very convenient because if you have your phone dock here, it's a lot easier for you to, check on your messages instead of having a dedicated extra thing on your desk just to put your phone there. So it's a very convenient feature, but it's no longer here on this EW277
HDR.
Yes. Okay, one thing about this monitor here is that it has most of the features of the EW series, like in the past, but with an additional twist of HDR.
We'll talk more about that later, but let's continue back with the physical outlook. Here we have only tilt, slight angle. I mean, it's enough for you to get by. There are zero height adjustment or swiveling. At the back here, you have the usual I/O. You got double HDMI 2.0 ports, VGA of everything, and then you have a headphone port and also an audio line in, and power jack. This is using an external power supply, so cable management will be a bit messy. Flanking two of the I/O ports right there, you have a 2-watt speaker. So it's firing backwards, so it's best to position this monitor against a wall.
So you get that extra sound coming towards your angle.
Yeah, a bit more surrounding kind of sound.
But it's a good feature because some of you doesn't really want to have bulky speakers on your desk, so this is pretty good alternative for that, I would say.
Yeah, you can get by daily uses. Nothing spectacular, but
don't expect for superb audio quality. Like if you want to watch movies, then don't expect for that kind of extra boom from it.
It's still better to wear a headphone. Again, you do have the headphone port at the back. I do wish that they would utilize this very magnificent looking brushed aluminum base.
It's an empty piece of base here, which I think BenQ can actually utilize this as some hub, because instead of having it at the back, you can actually have an extension of what you have for your I/Os, USB 3. A lot of monitors have those nowadays, and for this thing, if you have any extension for audio pass-through USB 3 ports for this, it makes things a lot easier for a lot of us, especially for those of you who actually wants to have your audio device or some portable storage attached on here instead of going all the way back to your system just to plug the thing in.
Speaking of that, cable management will be a lot easier for your headphones, since most of them they don't have long enough cable. You have to go all the way from the back to the front to your ears, which is kind of lengthy. And speaking of USB ports, you don't have anything at both sides. There's actually 0 USB ports on this monitor itself. As we mentioned, this thing have a lot of points and features. We have a list of them, so let's get on with the new ones first. Firstly, you have the BI Plus, which stands for Brightness Intelligence Plus, and also, as the name implies, HDR.
Yes, HDR wise, as most of you who already know, HDR means high dynamic range. So when you enable this features, it actually turns on the brightness a lot.
And then it will bring the dark parts and the bright parts to an equal brightness across the whole image, more or less equal, so you can see everything
in a nice view. It looks great, but there's some there's some catch to it, because if you enable the HDR mode, you can't actually adjust the brightness anymore.
Yes, so that's a bit of trade-off, but It depends on you, on how you like it. Some people would like HDR a lot. As for me personally, it depends on what I'm using. So maybe perhaps I'm watching a movie like V for Vendetta. That movie is known to be dark. HDR would be very good.
Plus, as what you mentioned just now, you can actually utilize the HDR for a lot of things. It's just that this single button doesn't actually, you can see the small button here, it doesn't actually just, allow you to enable the HDR. It also enables the BI Plus. Because if you enable the BI Plus, it actually enhances your view for, according to the current, lightings in the room. Because if the room is too bright, it will actually adjust it according to the brightness, which allows you to, view everything better on the screen. It optimizes the view.
So this is where the light sensor comes in?
That is a light sensor.
It functions like a phone then? Like auto
Technically,
sensor?
yes. And the amount of time for it to adjust to the room lighting is approximately 5 seconds.
Is it smooth transitioning?
It does if you put it that way, because if you were to see it here, if we cover the light sensor for 5 seconds, not sure if you can see this, but after 5 seconds it will actually adjust the display according to the current lighting we have.
So now it's very dark actually.
And I'll remove my fingers from there. And you
Now
can
it's a bit
see
brighter.
that it's slightly brighter because it's optimized to the room lightings.
Yeah, as the demonstration just now, we can see that the brightness transition is actually very smooth. You do notice the brightness change, but it's not
It
abrupt.
doesn't change just like that in a snap.
Thank you BenQ for doing something so smooth.
And of course, you do have the existing EW series features, which is the usual flicker-free and eye care. Because for flicker-free, well, even though most of the people doesn't actually notice that flickering going on,
But your subconscious, it does actually kind of hurt your eye if you flickers too much. You just don't realize it. You
Yes.
get tired. And there's also low blue light, which filters all the not all, some of the
it
blue light.
lowers the blue light output, so the screen will look a bit yellowish, but it actually helps a lot if you're looking at the monitor for long hours.
Yes, especially when you're reading text and with a white background, that really helps a lot. So, and then we have some other additional features like the what is
Smart
it again?
focus.
Smart focus.
Well, smart focus is actually, it's not hard to describe smart focus. It doesn't actually magnify stuff, but instead it creates a slightly darker frame around a specific area, the frame. So the middle section of that part of whatever you're looking at, it's brighter. So it actually helps to improve, your focus in reading what's going on the screen.
Yeah, it just kind of like darken the surrounding and then make the center one part of it with usual brightness. So
It's easier for you to focus on.
yeah,
It's not actually a feature that everyone will enjoy, but it does serve its purpose for users who actually want this kind of features.
if you really need that feature, yes, it's there. And I can see it will help some people, like if you just want small chunks of text each time and you don't want any distraction, having that little border with the smart focus is definitely useful. And then finally, we have also the super resolution feature. This is not to be confused with what NVIDIA
DSR.
has. Yeah,
That's dynamic super resolution.
that's upscaling. This one is actually sharpening. So if you just sharpen your text and sharpen your image, sharpen whatever it is, and that's it.
It depends on the users as well. Some might, some of you might want your image text to be sharp and crisp, but some who doesn't want it can opt out for the option. This is there.
Just don't over sharpen it, and then it's fine. So as mentioned, this is the BenQ EW277HDR, and the price over at the official BenQ Lazada store is 1079.
Yes, the price is slightly on the higher side, but it has all these features that's, you know, from the previous EW series as usual, the eye care related stuff like low blue light, flicker free, but on top of that you have HDR and the BI brightness intelligence technology that actually helps to enhance quite a lot of things here for your viewing experience. And all in all, this is actually a multimedia monitor designed for multimedia consumption.
Like what I mentioned just now, HDR. If you have HDR content, you can get a very beautiful viewing experience. But yeah, then again, you have to hunt for all this content. If you can, and if you have it, this is a bliss, and you can really enjoy all your movie in very beautiful colors. And as for gaming,
it depends on the games. Some games does have this kind of, you know, scenery where you can look at, you know, all the mountains, rivers, grasses, flowers, anything which gets enhanced by the HDR features.
So that's all for the EW277HDR by BenQ.
Do let us know what do you think about this monitor in the comment below. Subscribe to our channel, of course. Stay tuned for more content from us.
Remember, if you want to read the full version of this review, it's linked down in the description.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.